What is going on, everybody? Poker Dad here. So I just wanted to make a video because I just had a really great study session, and I started studying in a new way, and I wanted to share with you guys the way that I am going to be studying going forward. And I thought it was actually a pretty cool idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you guys just how I'm setting up my study now. Specifically, what I'm talking about here is studying my tagged hands. You know, in the past, I would tag hands like playing on Global Poker or on Bet Online or Ignition or whatever. And I would kind of lose track of all my tagged hands, and they would just kind of be like a jumbled mess. And then I would go and I would review my hands, and I'd probably forget about like what I did about like 5 minutes later or something. So while I was quote unquote studying, I don't think I was really retaining anything I was studying or really even learning anything that I was studying or working on. So I just want to share with you here. I'm going to go and show you my spreadsheet over here. And this is my study spreadsheet that I created. And I broke it up into two parts here, pre-flop and post-flop. And what I'm doing is I am, for example, here, Global Poker. We got our Global Poker link that we get when we are playing and we want to review a hand. You can then grab the link and throw it in the spreadsheet and be able to then replay a hand. Global Poker, they don't actually show the cards in a replayer, so it's always important to write down what you had, especially in case if it didn't go to Showdown. So I'm putting in all these links here for like anything in PT4. What I'm doing is I'm either putting a screenshot or using Gaiazo, or for certain hands I am doing a GIF. I don't know if this one's gonna be a GIF or not. No. Here, like this here would be like a GIF here probably. Yeah, exactly. So this way then I don't have to go find a hand in Poker Tracker 4, which is a complete mess. I'm actually creating a GIF of me playing out the hand. So I have either Gaiazo links or Global Poker links. Put down here what hand I had, and I'm putting down here the situation, what I do pre-flop. Okay, so here folded pre-flop, jammed here, situation post-flop, check jam on flop and big blinds. Raise the flop, bet river, fold the turn, whatever the situation was where kind of the question in hand is going to come into play. Here I'm just putting yes or no if I happen to review the hand or not. So like usually like if I was doing a Poker Tracker 4 tagged hands, and to review the hands I would remove the tag because I wanted to kind of be out of the way and not have to worry about it anymore. Here we're keeping this all in the spreadsheet. We're just marking yes or no. And we'll have a bunch of hands that if I ever wanted to go back and review a situation, I can go back and review a situation. And here is the question that I'm asking myself. So each hand that I'm reviewing, each hand that I tag, there's a reason why I tagged it. So I have a question on why. I have a question for like each particular situation. So, should we fold pre-flop? Are there any other options? Should I rejam pre-flop? Should we be calling 8-7 suited from the small blind versus the 7 big blind shove? Or here, is it a good check jam on the flop? Which I'll be using pile for like all my post flops, most of my post flop stuff. Was it a tight fold on a turn? So forth and so on. Then what I'm doing here is for the pre-flop stuff, which I'm using HRC for this stuff, I am posting the Gaiazo link in my spreadsheet. So this way then I can just go look again if I want to look back at this and look at the situation, and look at the hand and look at the situation. I can go and I can look at my the range there. Or also what I'm doing is, and this is what's going to be in this video here, I'm actually going to show 3 of the hands I reviewed here. I am recording myself reviewing the hand, and sometimes they're going to be like 15 20 minutes, whatever, but I'm recording myself reviewing the hand, and this way then now I can go back again, a spot like this comes up and I can actually go and rewatch the video I created for myself in reviewing the hand. So I have found this really, I just started doing this tonight, and I have found this to be really, really helpful as a way to review my hands instead of just, you know, blindly or like without much thought reviewing a hand, go on to the next, review a hand, go on to the next, review a hand, go on to the next, and never quite remember what I was reviewing, you know, and you know, like retaining just like so little of it. Now I can go back to my spreadsheet and I can take a look and I can see, you know, oh, Jack 10 suited, you know, let me go look at this hand. Should we fold pre-flop? You know, the A7 suited was a perfect one, which you guys will see. You know, should I be calling A7 suited to a 7 big blind jam? And I can go and I can take a look at it and even, you know, relook at the video. But even just like creating the video itself, like just like is helping like with it's gonna help with like retaining this information. So in this video here now, I just wanted to give this a little introduction, let you guys see. I just started doing this today. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to now give you guys three. I'm going to put. I'm going to now put. I'm so bad at that. At kind of coming up with the stuff on the fly out of my head, as you guys know. I'm going to. I'm now going to show you guys three of the videos I created tonight, which were just me studying. It's just me studying. I did not record these for the intention to put on YouTube. So understand that as you're watching them, it's me just like kind of thinking to myself and thinking out loud for the video to be able to retain this information. So I'm gonna have three different spots over here. Two of them are pre-flop, one of them a post-flop. We're gonna start with the post-flop stuff, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this little study video and this little new this awesome new technique that I started doing tonight for doing my study. So appreciate you guys here. By the way, I will let you guys know. Make sure that you go follow me on Twitch. I'm streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/PokerDad2078. Playing on Gold Poker, BetOnline, and Ignition currently. And also follow my Twitter at PokerDad2078. Enjoy these study videos. Thanks a lot, guys. Oh, and if you like the video, make sure that you click the thumbs up. And, of course, hit that subscribe button. Thanks a lot, guys. Check out these study videos. Okay. In this particular hand here, I am asking myself the question, was this a good check jam? So pre-flop here, I have 11 big blinds. And I have Queen 7 offsuit. I have a Queen of Diamonds and 7 of Spades. And our opponent opens, and Queen 7 with 10 big blinds, I'm just going to call. And before I do anything, let's just check this pre-flop. Make sure that that is okay, but I'm pretty sure it is. For 10 big blinds. Let's see if we even have this. Let's see, single action, 10 big blinds. No, we don't have verse all in, but I know that this is going to be a good call. And the flop is Jack 10-8, 2 diamonds, and a Jack of Hearts. I check. And my opponent bets about 2/3 pot here, so bets big. So I felt like my only option here, I couldn't really call. But I do have a gut shot and over. And I have the diamond as well. So I felt like in game this would be a good shove. We can't really call, and the only other option is to fold. So I went with the jam. And our opponent calls with King Jack suited, which, you know, not much we can do about that. But We end up taking it down, of course, but that's not the point. The point is, was this a good jam here? And I feel like if we're ever going to have a bluff that we're going to jam, this could be. A good hand to bluff with as a jam. But no, let's take a look. So we have pile here, and obviously we're going to be checking. Pile does have us donk jamming Jack 7 9 8 here with a diamond. Jack 7 without a diamond, but super low frequency. Still really just simplified. Gonna say we're checking here. Ranges, by the way, I didn't show ranges first. One thing I should really do on this board, even though it's pretty, not really what we're looking for. Like, this is the range of, this is our range. And this is in positions range that I gave here. So he's got the king 4. He's opening up from the hijack, so king 4 I think is good. Queen 8, jack 8 suited. He had going into the hand. I mean, the effective stack in front of him was about 30 big blinds. So maybe 10-7 suited probably shouldn't be there. 9-7 suited shouldn't be there. 30, because he had about 20 big blind stack, about like 16 big blind stack, hour stack. Most of the stacks are small, so maybe even here he should probably open. I should probably have had him opening up. Let's go to range trainer again real quick, just to see if I made some kind of an error here of what his range really should look like. He should really look like more of like a 20 big blind opening range. I can use like 25. So actually, my range is actually a lot tighter, but I think it's fine. Queen 6, Queen 7, people aren't really going to be opening that up much anyway. Jack 7, so 10-7 is in there. Okay, I mean, this is fine then. Pretty close. Pretty close to what it would look like. Even at 25 big blinds. In terms of equity, our equity here, it's actually pretty good. 40%, and theirs is 60%. So pretty decent equity, actually. Our specific hand, obviously the hands with the most equity are going to be any of the jacks here. 2 pair hands. Our particular hand, Queen 7 offsuit, actually is pretty bad equity. Only, let's see, it was a Queen of Diamonds, right? So only 27% equity this hand has. So I think, like, just looking at this here, this might be a good bluff for us here. It might be a better bluff if we're just bluffing like the higher equity hands here, Queen 2. These flush draws down here might be better jam. So I'm gonna say probably it's going to say that this might actually end up being a fold, because our bluffs are going to come from these higher equity hands here. For sure. and like this stuff here would be folds. Like, it might have us jamming. It's possible actually. It's gonna have us. I could see a scenario where it has us jamming all our flush draws, which is going to be a reason why these hands might just all be folds here, because we're just so much better off jamming as bluffs these flush draws here. So I'm going to say this is probably going to be a fold and going to be bad. Imposition also has so many calls here, like so many hands that have such good equity that they're probably not going to be able to fold on this board here, because they have all these pocket pairs that are not going to be folding most likely. So we just don't have great equity versus these hands and his range at all. So before even looking at what the solution is, I'm going to say this is probably going to be a bad jam, and that we're better off only jamming as bluffs our flush draws here, and probably maybe like king 9. King 9, which is doing a little bit better, might also be a hand that we can jam if we wanted to jam a gut shot. But this is like an open ender, so yeah. But this actually, might be a jam also, the 9s here. At least the king 9 more so, maybe more so than like the weaker 9s. Because this hand has the non-diamond hands still have like 38% equity, where here, I guess this is a comparison, because here king 9 suited obviously is going to have a lot. King 9 offsuit still 38-40, compared to here, 32%. So 32% compared to 38%. So pretty big difference between the 9s that are open-ended straight, that would also be an open-ended straight draw without the diamonds. So having the over, it makes like a huge difference. So let's see. And the EV, ours is 821, where our opponent's is 1828. All right, so let's take a look. Obviously, we're checking. And our opponent should be betting 55% of the time. And on this particular board, at about 10 big blinds, they should be betting mostly small. Their bigger size betting, which here would be about 60% or so, is what I have it set at. 66% on the 66%, 73%, 6%. Okay. 33%, 66%. Only about 3%, so very small. And the hands that want to do that here are going to be ace jack, and also these ace 9 hands as well want to do it. These hands want to bet bigger. And just want to see if I look at strategy plus react, the ace jack suited is just betting big and call, ace 9 betting big and call, where compared to ace 10 has a fold, has some folds in here. Ace 8 has some check folds in here, where these hands here really don't care, and they're just mostly calling the open ender with the ace and the top pair with the ace. These hands here obviously are also calling off jams. There are not really too many hands here, if we take a look, that are folding to jams. Interesting, the ace eight is folding, um, folding to jams here. But let's see. Our opponent here did bet on the larger side. And we kind of know that our opponent bet on the larger side with his top pair. So I'm going to probably node lock here. Because when our opponent does bet on the bigger side here, we're just going to have jams. We're going to have some raises actually, but more so going to be jamming. But I want to actually node lock this now, knowing that our opponent bet big with King Jack suited, which is not a hand that he would be betting big with actually at all. So let me go and pause this real quick and then come back. Okay, so I adjusted my opponent's strategy and is now betting his value hands bigger. So when he bets his value hands here bigger, our reaction is going to look like this. Now we're going to have, it looks like a decent amount more jamming going on. And as I suspected, the jams are going to come from the flush draws. So if we take a look here, and I was going to put one diamond. Our particular hand here is still folding. So all of these offsuit diamonds here that are offsuit, the offsuit diamonds, all want to fold here. The king, now I had mentioned this one here, the king of diamonds 9x wants to jam. Obviously the king jack x, all the jack x obviously. The queen 9 is a much better jam than the queen 7 is. And obviously all the flush draws here, except for these bottom flush draws here, are still mostly jamming, but are calling too. So I think that is pretty interesting. I was curious about the 9 of diamonds. Yeah. The 9 of diamonds here, King X 9 of diamonds, same idea. So pretty interesting stuff. So the takeaway here, and in terms of the value, obviously, value hands, the jacks all pretty much want to jam. Interesting that, actually, here's something interesting, is that the 5, 6, and 4 will actually fold. 7 obviously has a straight draw, but these don't do anything. And I think if we look at his range again, his jacks consist of jack 8, jack 9, jack 10, jack jack. So we can get called by jack 9. If jack 7, we jam jack 7. If a 9 hits, we chop. But just want to see something here. Jack 7 suited. I mean, we could jam these, obviously, but they mostly want to fold. Well, no, the Jack 6, the suited combos want to jam. But Jack 7 of spades, for example, wants to jam. It does have the straight draw. When we jam, our opponent is folding out ace 7, ace 6, ace 5, ace 4, ace 3, ace 2, jamming, folding these hands here, which is a big win for Jack 7. Because the ace can suck out on us, the kings can suck out on us. Making that, and plus then we still have outs to the straight as well. Where Jack 6 does not have that. So Jack 7 and ace can hit, but we can also still get a straight and defeat an ace. Jack 6 can't. Jack 6, obviously, Jack 7, we're folding out an ace. So it's good to get rid of the aces anyway. And the kings. That's the most important thing. We're getting to fold out aces, any ace, any king. We're also getting to fold out. Yeah, I mean, that's the most important thing, right? Because these, we don't care. In terms of value, the Jack 7 is getting value from 9s, ace 9, ace queen, ace king. It's getting value from all of these hands too. Yeah. Pretty cool. So the ultimate takeaway here is we have so many bluffs in our flush draws that we don't need to, that we have to fold, right? Stuff that we have so many bluffs in our flush draws that if we are also bluffing our offsuit diamonds, then we're bluffing too much here. Because we have all the flush draws on a two-tone board. So to answer the question, good check jam on a flop. With this particular hand, the answer is going to be no. We want to jam with our flush draws. Okay, in this hand, I have ace jack offsuit. Oh, I gotta change my question. Make sure I got this correct. Should we call rejam? All right. I have ace jack offsuit here. We have 17 big blinds. Folds to me. I open. And this guy jams with, he's got He's got 21 bigs, and he rejams, despite the fact that this guy has him covered. So the question then becomes, with ace-jack offsuit, what should I be calling here, and what else should I be calling here? So let me set this up in HRC. So we're going to go to advanced mode. And we are 8-handed here. Put in the stacks. Okay. And yes, I'm going to cut off right over here. Big blind is 1200, 600, 120. Chip EV and EV. Okay, next. 2 big blind open. Yeah, I think that's fine. And we'll finish this up here. Okay, so we're into cutoff. Let's see what the range looks like. All right, so we got this funky range here. So let's put what my real range will look like here. 17 big blinds. Going to be opening up all this here in the cutoff. Might open a6 as well. I'm gonna go down to 6s, 5s, 4s, 3s, 2s. Probably will end up jamming. Not always 5s. Gonna open up with 17 bigs. Could get re-jammed on, so I guess King 7. I don't think I really want to open up any of this other stuff here. I don't even think I want to open up like even 9-8 or 8-7. Get read and jammed on here so often. This is 24%. I guess this is fine here. 17 big blinds. Really don't want to be opening up too much here since we're going to get re-jammed on. Specifically the small. I think the small blind is probably like a little more like something that we should be a little more concerned about. So I'd actually be kind of interested, like right after this, just look at HRC and see what an opening range will really should look like in this spot here, which is pretty cool about HRC actually. So I'm gonna look at that after this here. All right, so give me that opening range in the cutoff. Okay. All right, and so we open, and the small blind is jamming us with this range. Which I'd say looks about right here. Definitely not much to dispute here, I don't think. With 21 bigs. And our response is we should be calling 12% of hands. Ace-Jack offsuit can never be a fold here. I'm pretty sure I did fold. I did, which is a really bad fold. I mean, let's look at what he's jamming, and I think this is what's important about this. He's jamming ace 10. He's jamming ace 9. So he's jamming ace 10, first of all. He's jamming ace 9. He's jamming these weaker aces as well. He's jamming these kings here. So I think, like, unless we're on, like, the direct money bubble, and this is like an ICM spot, I think this just has to be a call. And this is definitely not direct bubble. 600, 1200 level is not even close to money. So we can ask ourselves, is he jamming ace 10 here? And this is our call, I'm sorry. Is he jamming ace 10 here? The answer is yes. Is he jamming ace 7 here? The answer is yes. Is he jamming queen jack suited here? The answer is yes. So if the answer is yes, then we want to call. Because if we have ace jack suited, ace jack offsuit, and our opponent has ace 10 suited, we still have 68% equity. If our opponent has ace queen suited, well, then we're kind of screwed. But that's not the point. The point is we have so much more better hands than he does. Even king queen, our equity goes down. However, we are still in great shape here with ace jack offsuit. So the answer to the question is, should we call rejam? All day. Not even a question. Not even a question. In this hand, I'm asking myself the question, should we call a7 suited in the small blind versus 7 big blind jam? And I think I'm asking this question because of the fact that the big blind covers us. I'm going to say that yes, we should be. Because the big blind has to call with a very tight range. Now, I know that I'm never calling wide enough here than I should be. But I just want to see, because this is a spot that confuses me a ton on how to play it. What I also want to do, because I see that the blind levels are 3,000, 6,000. In fact, I want to take a look at something on Global Poker right now to get an idea of where the 3,006. I believe this is in the money. If it's not in the money, it's close to the money. It might even be final two tables, which would make it an ICM situation. So let me find its tournament that might be that deep to kind of get an idea. Deep 11 has 3 players left. 3 players left, and they are in what level? They're 25-50. 25K, 50K, and we are what? Oh, not even close. Okay, so let's look at the Deep Freeze, which has 47 players left. Top 45 get paid. This is in the 1,000, 2,000 level, so there's a good chance that, I guess, Mini Blitz, which has 8 players left. This is in the this is final table right here. But I know this is definitely not final table, so it's probably final two tables. So what I'm gonna do, I don't know what position I was in, unfortunately. So I guess we're gonna have to like kind of treat it like a Chippy V situation, I think. Unfortunately. And then I could just do a hypothetical situation. And you know, I'll use these payouts of like final two tables, with ICM involved and see how that changes the range. So first thing I want to do here is we can go basic here. And I want to put in the stacks. So I'm just, by the way, average stack in this. Just curious also. There's about 28 bigs. We have, and this is just an estimate based on the tournament going on like literally right now. 18. So we're below average stack, by the way, also. We only have 18 bigs. So let me... So this is going to be a lot, pretty hypothetical. But we can also first look at the exact situation we're looking at here, like from a chip EV standpoint. So we're going to look at this as a chip EV standpoint. And then we are going to look at this if we are final two tables. And I'm not going to go beyond that because I'm going to save my final table reviews as your own separate entity, because it's kind of hard to like look at this ICM stuff when I'm not actually just reviewing a final table. So let's look at chip EV first here. 6,000, 3,000, and the antes is 600. All right, we'll run it. And it was Hijack who jammed. And this is what his jamming range is going to look like. Yeah, I think this is fine. And in the small blind, we should barely be rejamming any suited ace here. And down to ace 7 offsuit even. All our pocket pairs except for pocket twos. And even our suited queens here. And even king queen off. And even king jack off are plus EV. King jack suited are plus EV here. So yeah, we need to be going with this. And if we were at the jam, big blind has got to fold a ton. So again, it's like, don't worry about big blind. If he wakes up with a hand, it is what it is. Just got to go with it. Just go with it and know it's the right call. So now what I want to do is just take a look at this from an ICM perspective, if we're final two tables, and see if that changes anything. So what I'm going to do is change this to final two tables. We'll do multi-table. And we'll say, let's just say, like, hypothetically, let's see, a pay jump here is at 15. So first, let me do this like at, let's see how many people at this table. We had 8 people. All right, so let's say we're in 16th place. 15th is going to be a pay jump. And let me put in payouts here real quick, based on this particular tournament we're looking at right now. screwed this up. I'm just going to worry about the top 18. All right. It's fine. All right. So we'll see places paid 18. There's no PKO. I don't know how to say like how many places are left. Actually say like, oh, I'll remove some players. Unless we just get rid of this. Places paid 16. There's no way to like say like how many players are left. So these are the payouts, but there's only like so many players left. Oh, configure chip stacks over the tables. Oh, okay, cool. Here we go. All right, so 16 remaining players. All right, cool. And like we're kind of like would be in the middle of the pack here. All right, cool. And there's no open. It's just a jam. So all in. And finish. Then we'll compare the two. And there's 16 left, which means there's a money jump. There's a money jump coming. So here's our jamming range again. Still looks fine. He's jamming 24%. Before he was jamming 31%. So he's jamming less here, obviously. Jamming a little bit tighter. Final two tables. He's jamming Queen 8 down to King 5 here. Where here he's jamming, basically cutting off at the suited 9s. Where here is like cutting off at the suited 8s, except for some extra kings here. And here he's cutting off really at the offsuit jacks. Where here he's cutting off more at the offsuit 10s. And still all the pocket pairs. And in the ICM situation, not jamming the lower offsuit aces. So when he's doing this for 7 bigs, now we are rejamming 11%, with A7 suited being like losing money here. So 11% compared to 19%. Huge difference. There's a huge difference. Now this is on a money jump. This is on a money jump. But I'm going to say, okay, if it's chip EV, then we are rejamming A7 suited all day here. But if it's final two tables, we got a money jump, it is a fold. Now, what if it's not a money jump? So let's go. Same idea here. Let me add in one more player again. Not a money jump. And we'll say we got 17 players. And let's see the difference here now. Most importantly, the difference between being in a money jump and not being in a money jump. So here the hijack now is jamming 26%, where no money jump, he is jamming 24%. So he's jamming more. I mean, when there's a money jump, he's jamming 24%. When there is no money jump, he's jamming 26%. So he's jamming still down to the nines, but he's got the king 8 suited in there too. Very similar. Couple more aces. Not much, not a huge difference. For us, we're still at 11%. Our A7 is now barely profitable. We shouldn't even be folding king queen off here, which is interesting. King jack suited should be folding. And this is not a money jump. So it's pretty much almost the same either way. So chip AV, we're calling all, we're rejamming all of our aces here down to A7 offsuit. Rejamming our suited Broadway kings, even rejamming our offsuit Broadway kings, except for the king 10. All of our pocket pairs have pocket twos. And our Broadway suited jacks as well. ICM, final two tables, we have now cut out the king 10 suited. We've cut out the bottom portion of our suited aces. We've cut out our offsuit kings. All of our offsuit kings we've cut out. And we're barely rejamming king queen suited. And we've cut out pocket threes and pocket fours as well. And even pocket fives is just super marginal. So I think it was good looking at it like this because I didn't really specify where we were in this tournament, but just based on the blind levels and what we saw from a current Gold Poker tournament, this was probably final two tables, but definitely in the money. So now one more thing, just to humor myself. Let's put this at final three tables. So we're not final two tables. Is there a difference between ICM and chip EV? Final two tables, final three tables, there's no pay jumps in sight. is there a difference? So let's do that real quick. So we're just going down to 27th place here in this one. And we'll go next. And we'll say there are, I mean, it doesn't really matter. We'll say there's 25 players left. Here are all our chips. Obviously, it's a hypothetical situation, but it's fine. Seeing my finish. The point here is that we're seeing that this is not any kind of jump. We're not in the money. How close is this to chip EV? Or should we be still playing tighter because we're in the money? So hijack is jamming 28% compared to no money jump of 27%, money jump of 24%. So wider here than ever, than before. Now you got all your suited nines. Your suited, you know, these nines here. You have some of these offsuit tens here. All your suited aces, all your pocket pairs with 7 big blinds. So the biggest jamming ranges here compared to money hop, no money hop of final 2 tables, and just in the money, 3 tables left. Now for us, A7 suited should be a clear rejam. We are now rejamming 12% of our range. A7 suited still is the bottom of the range. But now it's a little bit better. Still not great. That's one thing you notice here in all of these. A7 suited, it's not great. It's losing money here in the in a money jump. The only time it's great is in chip EV. And we can see here that King Jack suited, King Queen suited, even King Queen off still is losing money no matter what. So we're in the money. King Queen offsuit, not great. So what is my takeaway from this? Well, even once we're in the money, once we are in the money, we should be playing tighter. Once we're in the money. The button here has a pretty big stack, by the way. Notice here he'd be rejamming 17%. Chip EV 9%. Even the button, even the bigger stack. So everything, when we're in the money, it's not just the specific, okay, this is an ICM scenario. Really, the truth is, ICM really begins once we're in the money. And once we're in the money, we want to start playing tighter. We want to start opening tighter, and we want to start jamming tighter, and we want to start rejamming tighter, is what I've picked up from this example. And I think it's something that we would notice going forward in other examples like this. And I think it's very important in a lot of these rejams, in a lot of these spots, to kind of look at the differences between the different stages of the tournament, as I think this is a good example.